Hello, I'm Mary Jane Kingsland. A lot of you will know me as Mary Jane Kingsland Chair of Norwich Businesswomen's Network, and it's true to say that I have got Norwich Businesswomen's Network running through my veins, but in my spare time I work as a coach. That hasn't always been the case. I worked for 24 years as a family lawyer, and I decided after that point that I would do something else. I set up my own company in 2006, which is called Green Light. My route to that was that I decided, after one too many rants over the dinner table, that I would leave legal practice, and I went to Oxford Brookes and studied for a master's in mentoring and coaching, which took a couple of years. And at the same time, I worked as a locum in Cambridge, and I realised that my experience of study in a totally new field was informing my work as a lawyer in a very positive way. It was improving my interactions with other people, it was improving my interactions with my clients, and it was improving my interactions, quite frankly, and my opinions of myself, so all positive. So Green Light was formed ostensibly to mentor and coach other lawyers, because if I had had a coach like me at the time, I would probably have stayed where I was and just improved my practice. So the ethos of Green Light, it's called Green Light because you get the green light is go. It's to enable people, lawyers and other professionals, to look at where they are, decide where they want to go, and equip them with the tools and the talents that they need to move forward. For me, it's been an enormously positive experience, and I've continued to study, and I am now an accredited emotional intelligence practitioner approved by the British Psychological Society, in addition to holding the Masters. The emotional intelligence psychometric, which I use and is developed from the emotional intelligence background that I have, identifies your emotional intelligence and behavioural traits in the workplace. For instance, we might look at decisiveness, we might look at influence, we might look at motivation, we might look at empathy. Now, all of those are fairly given, and you may be able to say, well, I think I know where I sit on the scale generally compared with everybody else, and you may well have a very good idea. In my experience, people don't have a very good idea, and I often ask people to rate themselves before we even start, and then we look at what the results of their psychometric report is showing. The importance of knowing where you sit on the EQ scale is that each of your emotional behaviours at work interact with one another and play a role. For instance, if you score very high on the empathy scale, you may think that's a very good thing, particularly if you're a leader or a manager of people. You may think that this enables you to understand what other people need and what other people want, and indeed what other people are thinking. To a certain extent that is true, but if you place yourself in the position of a high-profile manager and you have bucket loads of empathy, you may well be spending too much of your time worrying about what your staff are thinking and doing and wanting to make their life more pleasant. Whereas in actual fact, your role as a manager and a leader is to support them, absolutely, but also to keep your high-ranking empathy in check to a certain extent. If you are highly decisive, then equally that is a good thing. But if you are working in a team, you have to think about the abilities of the other people in the team. And the way I operate my EQ psychometric and the coaching that flows from that in Green Light is to look at a team, look at the interactions of the team, looking at the emotional intelligence of the team, and then provide coaching which supports that and enables the individuals to feel supported and the organisation to provide ways in which the criteria and demands of the particular job can be met. The wonderful thing about EQ is that it can be improved. IQ, for instance, is fairly static. EQ is something that you can develop. I think to best understand coaching, you have to think about the Olympics. The Olympics this year, I think, has been enjoyed by everybody. There was something for everybody, and it's been a wonderful, uplifting event. If you think about it, we are watching, and have been watching, the best top flight athletes. They are at the top of their game, and they are performing beyond what people thought they could do, and bringing in their personal best time after time. If you think about Roger Bannister and the 4-minute mile, how many times has that record been broken? Yet at the time when the record was made, everybody thought it was exceptional. And indeed, it was exceptional. But each and every one of those athletes has a coach. And that's really the ethos of coaching. Coaching is there to bring about your personal best. Coaching has come back to the fore in that people can see that from a similar investment, or most likely less, individuals can be coached to perform at optimal level. 58% of what we do and achieve at work is down to us. Like the athletes, always going for the best, because second best is never personal best. It's occurred to me more than once that the Norwich Businesswomen's Network, Greenlight and coaching generally have a great deal in common. At the end of the day, they are all about building great relationships. They're about supporting one another, and they're about doing excellent business together and developing as a business, but ultimately as a person. At the end of the day, coaching, Greenlight, Norwich Businesswomen's Network, our community, are about you. Thank you.